Hello and good evening. Good evening. My name is Ainy Haider-Shah. I'm a longtime resident of Howard County. I'm excited to welcome you all to the installation ceremony of our county executive and the county council. First, I'd like to thank the Glenelg High School Jazz Band for the fantastic performance that we enjoyed as we got started this evening. These talented musicians were accompanied by their director, Christopher Winters. I'd also like to recognize our sign language interpreters this evening, Becky Frey and Brenda Kelly Frey. I'm also going to take a moment to just apologize to them in advance because I'm going to mess up a couple of times and I'm going to make some bad jokes and they're going to have to interpret every single bit of it. I'm sorry. Well, it's okay. So to prepare, so I just want to let you know, this is the first time I'm doing this. I've not done this before. I've emceed before, but this type of event, this is phenomenal. It's a great honor for me. To prepare, I did do a few things. I spoke to Corva Coleman, who's the host of NPR News, and she's emceed the event for the last few years, and she was happy to share some tips. I also watched some of the videos of the previous installation ceremonies, and I can tell you for a fact that this room is fuller now than it was before. And this is a great honor for me. As you know, this year Howard County made history happen in front of our very eyes with the election of the first African American county executive who will now lead our great county. And you all made that happen, and you should be proud of that. And as you're aware, we also have a brand new county council. Each of these representatives may be new to the council, but none of them are new to listening to the community and advocating for what is best for our community. As you know, Howard County is a microcosm of the beauty and promise that is America. We, as residents of this great county, have a responsibility to stay involved and to make this county a shining example of what our country aspires to be. I'd like to take this moment to say that I'm very honored to be able to do this, and I'd like to take the opportunity to recognize each of our newly elected officials. Our new county executive, Dr. Calvin Ball. Our new County Council representative for District 1, Liz Walsh. Our new County Council representative for District 2, Opel Jones. Our new County Council representative for District 3, Christiana Rigby. Our new County Council representative for District 4, Deb Jung. And our new County Council representative for District 5, David Yungmann. I'd like to ask Rabbi Craig Axler to come forward and deliver the invocation for the evening. Please welcome Craig Axler. Rabbi Craig Axler.
We come here this evening representing the beautiful and varied tapestry that is our beloved Howard County community. We come here affirming multiple truths that go by many names, including but not limited to God, Allah, Dharma, science, multiple truths that are all true in the deepest sense of that word, for they lead us to labor and strive for the betterment of humankind. We come here this evening to both honor and invest with our sacred trust the extraordinary public servants who now begin their tenure in these critical positions of power and responsibility. And so, we pray. We pray that each of these men and women embrace this power and responsibility with the purpose of building an ever more just society. That they work with one another in an atmosphere that is a shining beacon of civility and mutuality in a society that is ever more shadowed with the darkness of polarity and dehumanization. We pray that the blessed produce of the work of their hands, their hearts, and their intellects yields a community in which every person, citizen, stranger, and visitor alike, will experience a life marked by dignity and respect. May all of this and so much more come to fruition. And I invite you to join with me in affirming these words. Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi. The children of this evening's honorees will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Immediately after the pledge, please remain standing for the national anthem, which will be performed by the Oakland Mills High School Chamber Choir, led by Dr. Edrin Coleman, and followed by a beautiful rendition of the incredible Mahalia Jackson's If I Can Help Somebody. The 9 children leading us tonight are Tess and Graham Walsh, Reagan Jungmann, Eliza Rigby, Opel Jones, Ivan Jones, Carson Young, and Alexis and Alyssa Ball. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of our nation's colors by the Howard High School Army JROTC Color Guard, commanded by Cadet Sergeant Major Muckman. The kids are coming here. Kids? We have a lot of kids. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Thank you, kids. You guys did a great job. Can we give them a round of applause? Beautiful, thank you. It's amazing to see these beautiful young men and women up on the stage, isn't it? Let's give them another round of applause. Next, I'm pleased to share that the Lieutenant Governor of Maryland is here with us this evening. Please welcome fellow Howard County resident and Lieutenant Governor Boyd Rutherford. It is great to see the number of elected officials that we have here tonight. I'm going to go through and recognize them. There are quite a few here tonight because, as we said, this is a historic event tonight, this evening. So I'm going to ask that you hold your applause till the end. I'm sure they won't mind. It'll be okay. I'm going to go through. We have the members of the Democratic Central Committee, members of the Republican Central Committee. We have county government cabinet members. We have local affiliates, Mr. and Mrs. Milton Matthews, of the president of the Columbia Association. We have Ms. Tanya Kennan, president and CEO of the Howard County Library System. Mr. and Mrs. Stephen Snellgrove, who is the president of the Howard County General Hospital. Dr. Kathleen and Mr. John Hetherington. Dr. Kathleen is the president of the Howard County Community College. And Dr. Michael Martirano, the superintendent of the Howard County Public School System. We also have members of our Howard County Board of Education. We have Ms. Mavis Ellis, Ms. Kirsten Coombs, Ms. Christina Delmont Small, Ms. Vicky Cutronio, Ms. Jen Mallow, Ms. Sabina Taj, Dr. Chow Wu. We also have local union presidents and elected officials. We have the Honorable Peter Francho, Honorable Brian Frosch, the Honorable Ben Cardin, the Honorable Chris Van Hollen, the Honorable C.A. Dutch Ruppersberger, Honorable John Sarbanes, the Honorable Elijah Cummings, the Honorable Gail Bates, the Honorable Katie Fry Hester, the Honorable Clarence Lamb, the Honorable Edward Casemeyer. The list goes on. The Honorable Guy Gazzoni, the Honorable Trent Kittleman, the Honorable Warren Miller, the Honorable Natalie Ziegler, the Honorable Bob Flanagan, the Honorable Courtney Watson, the Honorable Eric Ebersole, the Honorable Jessica Feldmark, the Honorable Terry Hill, the Honorable Vanessa Atterbury, the Honorable Shane Pendergrass, the Honorable Jen Terrasa, the Honorable Frank Turner, Joseph Getty, Judge of the Court of Special Appeals, Donald Beachley, Judge, Court of the Special Appeals at Large, Matthew Fader, Judge, Court of the Special Appeals at Large, the Honorable Dario Broccolini, the Honorable Rich Gibson, the Honorable Wayne Robey, the Honorable Byron McFarland, Ann Dodd, Judge of the Orphans Court, Elizabeth Ann Fitch, Judge of the Orphans Court, Leslie Smith Turner, Judge of the Orphans Court, former Sheriff Bill McMahon, Sheriff Marcus Harris, that's another historic election, William Tucker, the County Administrative Judge, Richard Burhart, Associate Judge, Circuit Court of Howard County, Mary Kramer, Associate Judge, Timothy McCrone, Associate Judge, Wayne Brooks, Associate Judge, Lisa Broughton, Associate Judge, Pamela Brown, District Administrative Judge, Mary Reese, Associate Judge, and Ricardo Zweig, Associate Judge. Let's give them all a large hand of applause. Thank you. One second, I lost my place. There's so many people. Next, I'd like to invite the council members to step forward, and Clerk of the Court, Wayne Robey, will join them to administer the oath of office.
Elizabeth Walsh. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Elizabeth Walsh,
I, Elizabeth Walsh,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
that I will be faithful
that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland
to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution
and support the Constitution
and laws thereof,
and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully,
diligently and faithfully,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the duties
execute the duties
of a member of the Howard County Council
of a member of the Howard County Council
for District 1,
for District 1,
according to the Constitution
according to the Constitution
and laws of this state.
and laws of this state.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Opel Jones,
I, Opel Jones,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
that I will be faithful
that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland
to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution
and support the Constitution
and laws thereof,
and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully, without partiality or prejudice, execute the duties of a member of the Howard County Council
of a member of the Howard County Council
for District 2,
for District 2,
according to the Constitution
according to the Constitution
and laws of this state.
and laws of this state.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Christiana Mercer Rigby,
I, Christiana Mercer Rigby,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
that I will be faithful
that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland
to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution
and support the Constitution
and laws thereof,
and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully, without partiality or prejudice, execute the duties of a member of the Howard County Council
of a member of the Howard County Council
for District 3,
for District 3,
according to the Constitution
according to the Constitution
and laws of this state.
and laws of this state.
Congratulations. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Deborah Jung,
I, Deborah Young,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
that I will be faithful
that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland
to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution
and support the Constitution
and laws thereof,
and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully, without partiality or prejudice, execute the duties of a member of the Howard County Council
of a member of the Howard County Council
for District 4,
for District 4,
according to the Constitution
according to the Constitution
and laws of this state.
and laws of this state.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, David Yungmann,
I, David Jungmann,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
that I will be faithful
that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland
to the state of Maryland,
and support the Constitution
and support the Constitution
and laws thereof,
and laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently and faithfully, without partiality or prejudice, execute the duties
of
a member of the Howard County Council
a member of the Howard County Council
for District 5,
for District 5,
according to the Constitution
according to the Constitution
and laws of this state.
and laws of this state.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That was exciting. So now we're going to have an opportunity to hear from each one of our council members. First, representing District 1, Councilwoman Liz Walsh.
All right, let's start the clock. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Truly, for me at least, this is a momentous occasion. It is an honor. I feel that deep in my heart, and I think we all feel that. For me at least, I have more than a little awe about all of this. It's a good awe at how much we've done already, how we've managed to get here at all. But we did. And now, more so than ever, I am inspired and facing forward toward what we could do, all of us together, in the next 4 years, for our kids, for our neighborhoods, for our main streets, and our towns. Two things dear and near always motivated this campaign: our babies and the special place each of us chose to bring those babies into, that we are and that we must be true and good stewards of them both. In our brief turn on this earth, in a place that goes back to way before there ever even was an Elkridge Landing or three Ellicott brothers or a writer H.L. Mencken, who even in his citified youth could not but marvel at the deep, dense woods of the ancient trees we have here, the hidden peace of our babbling brooks. This was always a campaign about our kids and what we leave for them, for Tess and Graham, for Daniel and Julia, for Emerson and Eli, for Dane and Christopher, for Tess and Evan, Maria, Jeremy, for all of you, and for your parents, because this was a campaign by and about their parents. And I'm not saying there weren't some A-plus, rock-hard, die-hard dads out there, Vlad, Brian, Jose, Ray, dare I say Grandpa. But it was the mamas and the aunties and the grandmas who were there and will always be our guiding lights. Day after day, that tireless machine got us here, and I will forever be thankful to you. Gina and Becky, Don and Sherry and Nikki and Wendy, Sarah and Jill and Laura and Leslie, Ying and Yanming, Corliss and Sunmi. Really, there were so many Ginas, so many Buffys and Lauras and Lories, Amandas and Jennifers, Aggie and Sandy, Mary Catherine and Mara, Carrie and Kathy. Gracias, hermanas, gracias. There was one mama who, unbelievably, did more than all of the others by a lot, a whole mama lot, and that was my mom, my kid's grandma. You all know that kind of mama. Maybe you should think about that a little bit more before you do that, she nudges. You know what's right, she exasperates. Or maybe sometimes, I'm not the last one who had that scarf on, am I? Or, okay, crazy town, let's see what happens. Always, though, always that kind of mama says to you, you can do it and I will help you. You can do it and I will help you. All my life, that's what I heard. Thank you, Mom. Thank you.
Next, representing District 2, Councilman Opel Jones.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'm ecstatic, honored, and humbled to be installed as the 4th council person elected from the 2nd Councilmanic District of Howard County, Maryland. I have extremely big shoes to fill as my current councilman for another 15, 20 minutes. We'll continue on as our next county executive, and of course, the first council member of District 2, the longest serving council member in the history of Howard County, former MACO president, former NACO president, former administrator of the Office of Human Rights. I could go on and on. My brother, Dr. C. Vernon Gray. I thank you so much for your words of wisdom and encouragement. When I first thought about running, they were the first 2 people with whom I spoke, besides asking permission from my wife, of course. I thank you both for your leadership and your vision. Going back about 2.5 years, springtime, summertime of 2016 to be exact, I first thought about running for county council. Fast forward to today, after the countless doors, the countless coffees and lunches, other meetings with constituents, the countless nights I was away from my wife and beautiful children, to make today a possibility, I'm indeed blessed and thankful. I want to take a quick moment to share my vision as an elected official from District 2, serving the county as a whole, along with my fellow council members. At the root of it all, I am 100% for inclusivity, of all members of our communities, diversity amongst every category you can imagine, and I am committed to remaining a rational, fact-based, data-driven practitioner of issues, challenges, concerns, ideas, etc. I owe it to you, as that is who I am, it is what I ran on, and it is the type of elected official I will be. I have been serving the community since I was in high school, and I will continue to serve you, the citizens of this amazing place we call home, Howard County, Maryland. As my time runs thin, I just want to thank so many of you here with me tonight, as well as so many family and friends who are live streaming at home. Thank you to the 18,000 plus voters who gave me a chance to serve you as a member of this auspicious county council. And to those who did not vote for me, I hope to earn your support in the near future. Thank you to all the other candidates who ran. Whether successful or not, I believe we all helped each other grow over the last 18 to 24 months. Thank you to the volunteers who canvassed with me, the Democratic Central Committees, past and current, and especially the coordinated effort, better known as Team Howard. Just so you all know, this past Saturday at the Democratic State Central Committee meeting, it was announced that Howard County had the second highest get out the vote in the state of Maryland. So thank you, Team Howard. Thank you to everyone who offered me advice, counsel, and words of wisdom over coffee, lunch, early dinner, before I went home to my wife's home cooking. There's too many to mention, so I'll just say, you know who you are. Thank you. A special thank you to my mentor and senior advisor, Dr. Vernon Gray. I mentioned him already tonight, but I just want you to know how special he is to me. With all he had going on and with his legendary status here in Howard County, he took a chance on spending time with me to make me an elected official, make me a better man. Thank you, brother. I want to thank all of my networks, especially my fellow alumni of Hampton University in Hampton, Virginia, High Point High School in Beltsville, Maryland. To see likes and shares on Facebook and IG and retweets for the past 2 years has kept me encouraged on the path to victory. I thank you all so much. I know I'm over my 2 minutes, but this is my time, so I'm gonna keep going if you don't mind. They told us we had 2 minutes, but I'm gonna keep going. I want to thank all of the mentors, big brothers, big sisters, and father figures I had in my life, especially after losing my dad at the age of 10. My first Little League coach in the Rockaways, Queens, New York, his name is Dennis Brady. He's live streaming home in South Florida. My football coaches at High Point High School, my defensive back coach, Coach Marvin Jackson, my defensive coordinator, Coach Patrick Burns, and of course, Edgar, and my head coach, Dale Castro. My best friends, I'm lucky enough to have 2 best friends, one since I've known since 1991, Tavar Smith, the godfather to my kids, and his beautiful family. The other I've known since 1989, and his beautiful family. They're live streaming from New York, Austin Harris and his beautiful family. All of my fraternity brothers worldwide who believed in me to lead and serve, especially those at Hampton University and here in Howard County. Again, too many to name, you know who you are. My sensei, who is more like a brother to me now, but he's still my sensei, Brian Hobson. He's live streaming from Hampton, Virginia. And to all my fellow practitioners of martial arts here in Maryland, Virginia, Canada, worldwide. And a special, special thank you to my family. My mom, who has been there for me since day one. Literally the split second I came into this world, right? She's live streaming from Charlotte, North Carolina. And all my aunts, uncles, cousins, on my mom's and dad's side, thank you so much. And of course, one of the newest additions to my family, my stepdad, Louis, who has made my mom so very happy. Thank you so much. My wife's family, who accepted me as family. And her mom, my wife's mom, who I call mom, not only for the support, but allowing Chandra to be in my life. My brother and his beautiful family. My brother serves as my treasurer, so thank you for your hard work, bro. And my wonderful and amazing kids. Opel Jones II, who couldn't make it tonight due to a track obligation. He's also live streaming. Son, I love you more than you know. Keep doing all that you do. Ivan Jones, you are the most amazing and precocious 3-year-old I have ever met. I cannot wait to see the young man you will become. I love you, buddy, more than you know. To my brand new baby girl, Whitley, the first girl in a generation. Baby girl, you have stolen my heart. And she knows it too. I love you, baby girl, more than you know. And lastly, to my beautiful, amazing, supportive, and patient wife, Chandra Turner Jones. There are absolutely no words that would describe all that you are to me. I am literally not standing right here, right now, if it were not for you. I love you, more than you know. Thank you all so much for everything. Now let's get to work.
I think there were a few jokes in there that you could probably apologize to the sign language interpreters for, too. But it's okay. We'll let it go. It's okay. We'll let it go. Next, representing District 3, Councilwoman Christiana Mercer Rigby.
Thank you. I'll be brief. Good evening. So thank you so much for being here tonight. My story in Howard County begins in the 1970s, where my parents sought an inclusive, diverse community that valued our natural spaces. They settled here, first in Owen Brown and later in King's Contrivance. They welcomed 2 daughters at Howard County General Hospital. And as my mom will tell you, the maternity ward was in the windowless basement at the time. And growing up in Howard County and attending our public schools really shaped my character and my values. I want to ensure that our children have the same access to quality schools and neighborhoods that I did growing up. As a county, we must ensure that we are creating opportunity for all our residents. We need a renewed commitment to our public education system, to affordable housing for seniors and families, and also to sustainable growth in our county. When we support our schools and strengthen our neighborhoods, we all succeed. I'm honored to represent our communities and want to thank everyone who made it possible, but I will not name them all by name. Opel and I are good friends. My husband, Nick, my parents, thank you, Mom and Dad, my granddad, our family and friends, and the voters, because without their dedication and support, I could not be here today. I want to thank my children, Eliza and Arlo, for inspiring me every day to work to our collective future. I'm going to end with one of my favorite quotes from the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, that human progress is neither automatic nor inevitable. Even a superficial look at history reveals that no social advance rolls in on the wheels of inevitability, that every step towards the goal of justice requires sacrifice, suffering, and struggle, the tireless exertions and passionate concerns of dedicated individuals. Without persistent effort, time itself becomes an ally of the insurgent and primitive forces of emotional irrationality and social destruction. This is no time for apathy or complacency. This is a time for vigorous and positive action. Thank you to my new colleagues, to our new county executive. I look forward to the culture of collaboration that we are creating. And that's not just the people on the stage. That's every one of us in this room and each of our neighbors across the county. Thank you, and I look forward to working with you all.
Representing District 4, Councilwoman Deb Jung.
Good evening. Yesterday was Clean Up the Campaign Day. Bumper stickers, canvassing maps, door hangers, leftover brochures. Would anyone like 13 extra large Deb Jung t-shirts cheap, like free? But the most important thing that I will never put away is the energy, support, advice, and just plain time that so many of you in this audience gave my campaign. Volunteers are what make a campaign sing, and our song hit the rafters. For that, I am forever grateful. I would be remiss if I did not recognize the 3 people who were on board right from the beginning, and without whom I would never be standing up here today. Judy Center, my campaign treasurer, who volunteered for this job without even having to be asked. Imagine that. Beth Johnson, who stood by my side throughout thick and thin. We called her the volunteer coordinator, yet she was so much more than that. And my husband, Ben Bialik, who had the title campaign manager, but with his years of knowledge about state and local government, served as my in-home advisor, as well as my biggest cheerleader. And to all my family and friends in the audience and elsewhere, you have my enduring gratitude. And in Opel's tradition, a shout out to the people streaming right now, which includes my daughter, who's in New Orleans at Tulane University. I also want to thank the members of the outgoing council. I know there are some of you out there, and the county executive for their years of leadership and dedication to the people of Howard County. Your public service is very much appreciated. Well, the campaign is over, and now is the time to govern, the day that we have been working toward. I will make a few promises tonight as we move forward to the next 4 years. I will listen to all sides. I will be accessible. I will do my best to find solutions to everyday problems, and I will work hard to preserve our environment, to support the most vulnerable among us, to tackle our infrastructure issues, to mitigate flooding in Ellicott City, and to keep our school system strong. That's for you, all you Board of Ed people out there. I will be working for you, knowing that you put me in office and want what is best for our county. So do I. To paraphrase Jim Rouse, an inspired, concerned, and loving society will dignify people, will find the ways to develop their talent, will put the fruits of their labor and intellect to effective use, will eliminate bigotry and intolerance, will care for the indigent, the delinquent, the sick, the aged, seek the truth and communicate it, and respect differences among people. To all of you in the audience, the residents of Howard County, my colleagues on the county, and our new county executive, may we come together in the spirit of Jim Rouse's vision and continue building the Howard County of the future that welcomes all people, provides a safe and secure place to live, work, and play, and acts constructively upon the energy and devotion we will all bring to this endeavor. Thank you.
Representing District 5, Councilman David Yungmann.
So Annie must not realize that from here on out, my name is David Yungmann of Woodbine, the sole Republican on the council. Especially if you read the newspaper. So as my colleagues have all pointed out, none of us got here without support from lots of great people. I can't even begin to thank everyone that helped our campaign because there's no more time left after Opel. So I'd like to thank the voters of District 5, but I'm especially grateful to my parents, George and Helen Yungmann, my brother Kevin Yungmann. You've supported me in everything I've done for 51 years, starting with moving me to this great county 45 years ago. And to my kids, Reagan, who's here, and Cole, who better be watching from South Carolina, you've made the last 20 years the best of my life. I love you guys. So this was a rough campaign season for all of us, and probably for a lot of you. But like we do every 4 years, it's time to regroup, focus on the work in front of us. So anyone here that doesn't realize how special this place is probably needs to spend a little time away. More than anywhere in Maryland, Howard County provides us with incredible opportunities to grow, to learn, to prosper, and to contribute. We enjoy a great job market, the best schools, diverse and safe communities, first-rate amenities, and stable taxes. And now I know it's my job to continue to deliver this high quality of life while keeping our county on a sustainable economic foundation. We have a great group on this new county council. They haven't made me eat outside or hidden the bathroom key yet. Seriously, though, we're already finding common ground and areas in which we can work together to make Howard County even better. I pledge, above all, to make doing my job a priority over keeping my job. And I hope my colleagues will all do the same. Thank you all for caring enough about Howard County to be here tonight. With your help, we'll make Howard County even stronger. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the program.
Congratulations again to all of our council members. We look forward to bombarding you with emails in the near future. So I did say I was going to screw up. I did not lie. I did screw up. I did not recognize former county executives, Mr. and Mrs. Alan Kittleman, Mr. and Mrs. Ken Allman, Mr. and Mrs. James Robey, and Mr. and Mrs. Ed Cochran. I screwed up again. I also neglected to mention Mr. and Mrs. John Weinstein, Ms. Jen Terrassa, Mrs. Mary Kay Siggety, and Mr. Tom Graham, along with Mr. and Mrs. Greg Fox and Mr. and Mrs. Craig Glendenning. See, I owned up to the mistake, so it's okay, right? Sorry. Next, I'm thrilled to be able to welcome Howard County's First Lady and role model for all political spouses everywhere, Shani Ball.
First and foremost, I would like to thank all of you for joining us here tonight. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Shani Ball, and I am the wife of Howard County Executive-elect Calvin Ball, and the mother of our two wonderful daughters, Alexis and Alyssa. Calvin and I first met in 1995 while working at Montgomery Ward's in Security Square Mall. His opening line was, "God spoke to me, and we were meant to be married." Really. As you may have guessed, I was not convinced. But through our 3-year courtship, I began to believe that we were created for one another. We were married 20 years ago in March of 1998. It is hard to believe that at this point in our lives, we have been together longer than we were apart. When we started looking for a home, there was only one place for Calvin, Howard County. As a military brat, I was not familiar with Howard County or Columbia and the Rouse vision of equity and inclusion. However, I believe in God. God led me to Calvin and thus to Howard County. There was no better suited place for us as we moved into our Columbia home in 1999. Shortly after, in 2002, we were blessed with our first daughter, Alexis, followed by Alyssa in 2006. Calvin wanted our girls to grow up in a diverse and inclusive community. He also wanted our children to attend the best school system in the state. Our girls graduated from Talbot Springs Elementary and went on to attend Oakland Mills Middle and Oakland Mills High School. Calvin's faith, focus, and need for creating an environment for us all, Calvin's faith, focus, and need for creating a better environment for us all will be guiding principles as he looks to create a blueprint of excellence for our community. He is grateful for your faith and trust in him to get the job done, but he cannot do it alone. Together, we can build a community that continues to be a model of diversity, equity, and inclusion. I am most proud of Calvin because he's a good husband and an amazing father. But I would be amiss if I did not mention how proud I am that he made history here in Howard County as the first African-American county executive. When someone becomes the first African-American, Latino, woman, Jewish, Muslim, or LGBTQ+ to be elected into any political office, often the focus is on what they did, but that isn't the point. Calvin and I know that this accomplishment is not about him. This is about future generations of Howard County residents, like our daughters, who will now know that people who look like them can also become leaders of this great county. Jim Rouse is quoted as saying, "Whatever ought to be, can be." This is an appropriate motto for modern Howard County. No matter your race, your religion, your gender, or your sexual orientation, your talents will not be limited here. My husband's election epitomizes this consciousness, and he will govern under the mandate of diversity, inclusion, and tolerance. Mary Frances Winters once said, "We are each a unique being, but working together in teams allows for accomplishments not possible by any one of us." With that said, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the first African American ever elected to this position, someone who makes me proud every day, our next county executive, and my husband, Dr. Calvin Ball.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Calvin Ball,
I, Calvin Ball,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
that I will be faithful
that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland
to the state of Maryland
and support the Constitution
and support the Constitution
and laws thereof,
and laws thereof,
and that I will,
to
the best of my skill and ability,
the best of my skill and ability,
without partiality or prejudice,
without partiality or prejudice,
execute the duties
of
Howard County Executive
Howard County Executive
according to the Constitution
according to the Constitution
and laws of this state.
and laws of this state. Thank you. Thank you, my friends. It's so good to be here with you. I would not be standing here if it were not for the abundant faith, trust, and support of so many. First and foremost, my incredible introducer-in-chief, fabulous First Lady of Howard County, spectacular supporter, and best friend, my wife, Shani. My amazing A-team of daughters, Alexis and Alyssa, who have been there for me unconditionally, even as you grow to become fierce leaders of tomorrow. My beloved parents, who, while they could not be here in person, are home watching and are always here with me in spirit. My dedicated team, both at the County Council and on the campaign trail, you truly are my family, and I would not be here today if it weren't for you. Everyone who participated in this democratic process and gave your time and treasure to help all of us serve our community. Alan Kittleman and the Kittleman family for your years of service to Howard County. All of the other candidates who have the courage to put yourselves and your families out there to do what you could to help others. The residents of Howard County for making your voices heard in this process, putting your faith in me, and partnering with all of us for a responsible, responsive government. I thank you for the trust you've placed in me. I'm honored to be the county executive for all of Howard County. For Columbia, born from a vision of inclusion, ripe for a renaissance of revitalization. For an Elkridge with historic roots that run deeper than most communities in America, yet can be an American example for the infrastructure and public facilities for tomorrow. For an Ellicott City who will not be defined by floods, but who, with me as your champion, will become a national model for unity, safety, strength, and resilience. For every farmer and all of our neighbors in Western Howard County, we can become the best example of embracing the future of agriculture and the quality of life for rural communities. I'm honored to be the county executive for all of Howard County, from Jessup to North Laurel, Skaggsville, Highland, Dayton, West Friendship, Woodstock, Glenelg, and every corner of our great county. I'm honored to be your representative and tireless advocate. And I commit to you that I will do so with innovation, transparency, proactive, and sensible leadership that remains rooted in the values and quality of life we all cherish. As we all know and feel, our country is shifting. Our nation is at a true crossroads, perhaps the most significant in our lifetime. The very fabric of who we are is being tested. Howard County has deeply rooted values of inclusion, equity, responsible stewardship of our resources, and prosperity for all. With our will and our ethos, we can be a beacon of light, brightly shining as a model of hope. At this important juncture, I'm reminded of the notable excerpt from A Tale of Two Cities, in which Charles Dickens discusses the contradictions between life in London and life in France. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light. It was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of despair. We had everything before us. We had nothing before us. This, my friends, is the challenge of America today. I know that we can emanate hope and light for our nation. I know that together we can. I know that together we can make sure that everyone in Howard County has access to a quality and affordable educational opportunities from pre-K all the way through college and beyond by continuing to support and prioritize innovative learning efforts, our school system, Howard Community College, and through our libraries. I know that together we can make progress on building much needed schools while redistricting in a way that keeps neighborhoods together, because we all want to combat school overcrowding and class size increases and foster the best teaching and learning environment for all of our children and educators. I know that together we can ensure that all Howard County residents have access to affordable health care and critical emergency services. I know that together we can become models for energy independence and innovation that preserves open spaces and takes seriously the increasing frequency and severity of bad weather in a way that respects our history and our tax dollar. I know that together we can all become more prosperous and create a more business-friendly environment of economic growth that promotes local businesses while fighting for private sector jobs that pay a living wage and have the kind of working conditions that we'd all want our loved ones to experience. I know that together we can help our sisters and brothers fighting addiction, facing mental health challenges, or struggling through homelessness without the stigma while still embracing compassion and dignity. I know that together we can mourn our fallen family members who serve as first responders, such as Nate, God rest his soul, and still recognize the importance of appropriate staffing and work diligently to make improvements so that we demonstrate that public safety is a priority and those who keep us safe are two priorities. Let's create the best of times, expanding opportunity for all. Let's celebrate the age of wisdom, ensuring all of our children have access to the best public education, which not only challenges them and encourages them to innovate, but also prepares them for their very best future. Let's be that epoch of belief about reality of equality and inclusion for all, rejecting racism, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, misogyny, homophobia, ageism, discrimination, and hate in all forms. Let's foster a spring of hope, being the best place to live, raise our families, and improve the quality of life for all of our residents. We do have everything before us because we needn't be two cities of contradiction and disparity. Together, let's cultivate a united, cohesive Howard County for all of us. God bless you, God bless Howard County, and God bless America.
To move the mic down. It's a little tall. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the Alpha Achievers, inspiring young men who represent various Howard County high schools. They will recite the poem If by Rudyard Kipling.
Works. Does it? Yeah. All right. If by Rudyard Kipling. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and bling it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting you too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or be lied about, don't believe in lies, or being hated. Don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster, and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to grow broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools. You can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginning. And never read a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with pride and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch. Neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you. If all men count you, but none too much. If you can feel the unforgiving minute, the 60 seconds worth of distance run. Yours is the earth and everything that's in it. And which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
Thank you. That was wonderful. Next, I'd like to invite the County Council to move to the tables to my left for their first official legislative session and election of officers. They will be joined by Council Administrator Jessica Feldmark.
Good evening. This is a legislative session of the County Council. The Council's first order of business is the election of officers. Officers are elected each December. The officers elected tonight will serve in their positions through December 2nd, 2019. The floor is now open for nominations for the position of chairperson of the County Council.
It is my absolute honor and pleasure to nominate one of the hardest working candidates this past cycle, who went door knocking on thousands of doors with a brand new baby. You all know who she is. I nominate Christiana Mercer Rigby to be the first chairperson of the County Council.
I second. I will not dare to say more than Opel has.
They still going?
Mr. Jones.
Yes.
Ms. Young.
Yes.
Ms. Mercer Rigby.
Yes.
Ms. Walsh.
Yes.
Mr. Yungmann.
Yes.
We will now take, losing my voice. We will now take nominations for vice chairperson of the council.
I nominate Opel Jones to be vice chairperson of the county council.
And I second.
Ms. Mercer Rigby.
Yes.
Mr. Jones.
Yes.
Ms. Young.
Yes.
Ms. Walsh.
Yes.
Mr. Youngman.
Yes.
We will now take nominations for chairperson of the zoning board.
My pleasure to nominate Liz Walsh to be the chairperson of the zoning board.
And I second that.
Ms. Mercer Rigby.
Yes.
Mr. Jones.
Yes.
Ms. Young.
Yes.
Ms. Walsh.
Yes.
Mr. Youngman.
Yes.
We'll now take nominations for chairperson of the Board of License. Just kidding. We'll now take nominations for vice chairperson of the zoning board.
I nominate Deb Young to be vice chairperson of the zoning board.
I second.
Ms. Mercer Rigby.
Yes.
Mr. Jones.
Yes.
Ms. Young.
Yes.
Ms. Walsh.
Yes.
Mr. Youngman.
Yes.
Now, we will take nominations for the chairperson of the Board of License Commissioners, informally known as the Liquor Board.
I nominate Deb Young, J-U-N-G, to be the chairperson of the Board of License Commissioners.
I second.
Ms. Mercer Rigby.
Yes.
Mr. Jones.
Yes.
Ms. Young.
Yes.
Ms. Walsh.
Yes.
Mr. Youngman.
Yes.
I nominate David Yungmann.
I think I have to open it. Oh, sorry. That's okay.
This is what happens when you have an all-new council.
You were just really excited to do that, I know.
Yeah, she's enthusiastic. So we'll now take nominations for vice chairperson of the Board of License Commissioners.
I nominate David Yungmann to be vice chairperson of the Board of License Commissioners.
I second.
Ms. Mercer Rigby.
Yes.
Mr. Jones.
Yes.
Ms. Young.
Yes.
Ms. Walsh.
Yes.
Mr. Youngman.
Yes.
This concludes the election of our officers, and I'll now announce appointments to our external committees. For the Maryland Association of Counties Legislative Committee, Deb Young will serve as the council's representative with myself, Christiana Mercer Rigby, serving as the alternate. For the National Association of Counties, Deb Young will serve as the council's representative with David Yungmann serving as the alternate. Congratulations to all of our new officers and committee representatives. Please note the council's next legislative session will be on Monday, January 7th, 2019 at 7 p.m. in the Banneker Room at the George Howard Building. This concludes our legislative session for tonight. Thank you.
Okay, so now you all know what each council person is responsible for the next 4 years. There may or may not be.
1 year.
Just
1 year, 1 year. Sorry, 1 year, 1 year. I told you I was going to screw up. Come on, guys. But now you know what they're going to do for the next 1 year. And there may or may not be a pop quiz that I will fail later. I'd like to invite Reverend Paige Getty of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Columbia to lead us in a benediction.
Good evening. Will you please rise now in body or in spirit and hear the benediction? This evening, we have celebrated leadership, passionate leadership, steady, grounded, life and justice affirming leadership, visionary leadership, history making leadership. We celebrate and congratulate the elected officials here on the stage who have been installed this evening, all of those who took their oaths earlier today, these officials who are eager to serve our county. May their public service be blessed with wisdom, with compassion, with discernment, with courage. May even the most marginalized among us, especially the most marginalized among us, those that some scriptures call the least of us, know that their leaders are concerned for their well-being too. May these leaders care well for their own health and make time for their families, even as they make sacrifices for the good of all of us. We in this room, the electorate, we have placed our trust in these people, in County Executive Ball and Council Members Jones, Jung, Rigby, Walsh, and Yungmann. Tonight, we affirm and sanctify that trust. And they have placed their trust in all of us to be worthy of their service, to hold them accountable, to be leaders and collaborators and change makers with them. They can't do it without us. Tonight, we affirm and sanctify that trust. May every one of us gathered here tonight recommit ourselves to the good of Howard County, all of Howard County. Because as we say often at the end of worship, our ceremony is now ending. Our service is just now beginning. Amen.
While we are standing, I'm going to take a selfie with Calvin.
Oh my gosh.
And you're all in it.
You're all in it.
Thank you. Thanks. On behalf of the County Executive, Dr. Calvin Ball, and members of the County Council, I'd like to invite you to join us for a reception in the cafeteria. Thank you so much for joining us this evening for this special occasion. Please drive home safely. Thank you.